Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7. This is a bit of a exciting and also random and also a bit of an early video in regards to talking about this. A bit surprising. So we have just started a 3-week break between episodes for The Flash Season 7. So we just had episode 7, in 3 weeks we'll have episode 8. And hopefully that's the only extended break that we'll be getting this season. I think that 10-month break roughly that we had that was, between season 6 and 7 was long enough. I think that was fine. I don't think we need any more. And while we have a good amount going on within the show at the moment in regards to, storylines, villains, and stuff happening with our characters, we of course know of some stuff that is happening later on this season, and some new stuff has actually come out which is going to add to that already known information. So about 2 weeks ago, I think it might have been 3 weeks. I'm not sure. Time flies by these days. But anyway, 2 or 3 weeks ago, one of the two, whenever it was, we got the news from the CW and I guess Warner Brothers TV as well, that Bart Allen, aka Impulse, would be coming to The Flash in season 7 in the 150th episode, the milestone episode, which is actually the 17th episode of this season, and it's an 18 episode season this season, so that's the second last episode. Now, there wasn't a ridiculous amount of context given as to why he's coming back to the past to hang out with his family members, and we'll get into that in a second, and whether he is from 20 to 30 years in the future like Nora was in season 5, or they go for a more distant future which Bart is from in the comics. But we do know that Bart will actually be played by Jordan Fisher, and that he'll be Barry and Iris's son on the show. There was some confusion at first, but it's been confirmed that he's the son rather than their grandson like he is in the comics. So, fair enough if they want to go with that. And I think with this new information that's come out, we can understand why they've gone down that route. But there was a bit of uproar about that change, when it was first announced. Now, due to the fact that we are only on episode 7, as I mentioned before, and the 150th episode is falling on the 17th episode of this season, we weren't sure if we were going to get too much information on this episode until much closer to the date. And also because of COVID issues and stuff like that, it's not like, filming and location stuff is that easy to get, information on. So usually things would come out, but, COVID sort of kept, things more tight compared to usual, if that makes sense. But for this instance, that isn't the case. We know some stuff that's going on. So last weekend, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was, I did a video where I talked, in part at least, about John Wesley Shipp, who of course plays Jay Garrick on the show, tweeting that he would be heading up to Vancouver, where they film The Flash, in about a week's time. So that's a week ago from now, so that's right now, which would then result in a 2-week quarantine stay before he would be able to film. And 3 weeks from that tweet would roughly be the point in which they filmed the 150th episode, So that pretty much confirmed that he would be in that episode as Jay Garrick alongside Bart Allen. And you never know, maybe John Wesley Shipp is playing another character. Who knows? But we were also wondering, could there be more characters coming in? And well, we not only can confirm Jay Garrick is showing up now, because it wasn't 100% confirmed that he was being there, but we now know he is, but also someone else. So Pursuit23 on Twitter, who was like a scout. That's the best word I can think of. I don't know what you would call them, but they just know who is in and out of the city when it comes to Vancouver. So a scout, I don't know, I'll just call him a scout. Anyway, they revealed that Jordan Fisher, who as I said before is playing Bart, and John Wesley Shipp are in hotel quarantine for the 150th episode. They've just arrived, but also that Jessica Parker Kennedy has also arrived there as well for the exact same quarantine. And for those that do need the reminding, she played Nora West Allen, aka XS, in season 5 of The Flash. And I guess season 4 as well. I forgot for a brief moment that she, first appeared in season 4. That's where we first met her. So yeah, season 4 and season 5. Now, we don't 100% know if she is back as Nora West Allen. She could be Dawn. She could be Voldemort. Though it would be strange if they randomly went away from the Nora name. They haven't forgotten that Nora was there. So you think they would just name her Nora again? But we'll just refer to her as Nora in the video. It just makes it easier for myself and yourself in regards to who we're talking about. So she's Nora in regards to referencing in this video. Now, there had been talks amongst fans of the show as to whether Bart being a thing now, him coming in, and also mainly him being the son of Barry and Iris now, as to whether that cancelled out Nora being a thing going forward. Sure, we saw Nora get erased from existence in season 5, but that was also pre-Crisis. That was also the older Nora. It's not like Barry and Iris couldn't have Nora again going forward, and also at a different time point, so it's not the exact same Nora that disappeared. So it's a different person, if that makes sense. It sounds confusing, but hopefully you get what I mean in regards to that. So that discussion and worry, I guess, amongst fans as to whether Bart cancelled out Nora, we now know that's not a thing by the looks of it at least. Now, one big question with this now is, are they twins? Are Bart and Nora twins? Are they almost like Don and Dawn from the comics, which are Barry and Iris's children? Or is it possible that this is a different Nora, so they're not the same age? So maybe Nora is the younger sister or the older sister of Bart. And I think making them twins is easier. And like just for a couple of reasons. And they could also make them twins that act alike, so they're very similar to each other. Like even if they might not look exactly the same, they act very similar to sort of indicate that they're twins, which would explain why Nora just felt like a female Bart Allen in season 5. We mentioned it multiple times when watching season 5. This just feels like female Bart. And one of my reasons as to why they might not have been thinking about bringing Bart into the show is because Nora sort of played that role. But if they make it that it's because they act like each other because of the twin relationship, then I would be fine with that. Like if that's the actual reason as to why they were so similar, there you go. And I think it'd be actually sort of cool to see that relationship, going back and forth between the two. Now, obviously, this might annoy the super comic purists that wanted Don and Dawn to show up. I think having Bart and Nora there cancels out Don and Dawn. You'd have to think, especially if they are twins. So I don't know if they're going to refer to these two as the Tornado Twins because they are different characters, especially if one of them's Impulse. I don't know if you can call them Tornado Twins. Maybe they could make a little reference there, but they're not going to be that exact duo from the comics. So at least I'm not expecting them to do that. Now, one thing with this is that with Nora coming back, does this cancel out the potential of Bart being more than a guest star? If they are twins, I think the answer to that is yes, I would have to assume. Like, why would Bart appear in the show, then stay back in the past, but Nora doesn't? Unless that does mean that Nora is also staying back again. So you're going to get both of them staying back, but that could just be too messy with that many speedsters. They already struggle with Barry by himself sometimes, and we have seen them struggle week to week with 2 speedsters. So I don't think 3 main speedsters would be that smart. But the thing is that they listed Bart as a recurring guest role from memory. At least some of the reports, where I think the main ones listed him as a recurring guest role, not just for one episode. However, that could just mean that he also appears in the season finale as well, which could also link up with both Jay and Nora. So you'll get Jay, Nora, and Bart in not only the 17th episode, but also the following week, which is the finale. And I think it makes sense to have them appear in more than one episode if they're doing that whole 2-week quarantine thing. And also, some of the actors might not agree to it. It's just like, oh, well, I had to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks to film for 4 or 5 days. No, you're going to be filming for like 10 days over a 2-week period. So that might be the way they enticed the actors to be able to do it. Now, there has been a discussion whether like this 150th episode, would just be a storyline just for the episode, or it'll be related to the main villain. I'd have to say it relates to the main villain, and that's mainly because it's the second last episode. If it was like the 4th or 5th last episode, so falling like that 13, 14 episode, or episode 13 or 14 range, then it could be like a filler episode if you want to call it, or just be its own little thing. But it's the second last episode of the season. Like, you can't do that type of episode at that point. But I guess this lines up with, does this mean, or does this confirm it's a speedster villain? And I wouldn't say 100% yes. I think it's very, very likely now. But another option is that's a villain from the future. They've been sort of like teasing the future, not only the show with that abracadabra thing, but also the posters for the show as well have like mentioned the future and stuff like that. And then we have Bart coming back from the future, Nora coming back from the future. It's getting very futuristic in this house. Now, we know Godspeed's meant to be showing up, but it's hard to see Godspeed being the big bad for the season. So maybe he's just a pawn in that game that the big bad is playing. But yeah, it seems like it could be a speedster, but I think the realm, not the realm, but the region they come from, the time period is somewhere in the future, whether it is from the time of Bart and Nora, I was going to call it Dawn, Bart and Nora, or even further, and they just know about it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. They do have those COVID issues in Canada going on at the moment, so hopefully they don't interrupt the filming for the 150th episode. Hopefully they can at least get this episode done. They don't have long to go. This episode films in 2 weeks, and then the next week is the finale, so they're done in about 3 weeks to a month. So hopefully all goes well. Those COVID issues don't impact it at all. But yeah, fingers crossed. And I'm interested to see how it works out, and to see whether one or more of these characters stick around heading into season 8, or at least the finale as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this. Are you excited? Do you have any theories heading into it? Any thoughts, any predictions? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.